Harith would actually work really well for Twisted Minds if they do get that, because you know, you get to play into the Kagura a little bit. We've seen that, you know, especially with the itemization like Genius Wand to help that out. But a lot of good choices even for the gold lane. But I think maybe just take out the Harith if they don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, because they might feel a bit more hesitant to pick it up themselves as well, since there's a Gadot in Twisted Minds
Hold up.
already. Wait.
Well, why the glue if there's already?
What are they seeing here that we? Is this the fabled gold lane CC?
Oof. Is it?
Are they looking at it that hey, Nosha might still pick up the CC? Look at the even MP the King's like, hold up.
Okay, there's a Harith like we were talking about.
So it's not. It's
No adjustment.
Yeah, maybe it was just to be safe. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't know. I don't think they needed to ban out the glue, man.
Apbr out-twisted mind.
Twisting, or maybe their minds are twisted.
or do they just want to keep like a lot of the options still open?
Hey, at least the jig is up. Apbr has to reveal where the box is going here with picks 4 and 5.
Yeah.
We know that much.
But
While still Twisted Minds,
Yeah.
they're holding on to us.
Without knowing what Twisted Minds is gonna go for in the jungle, I mean, there's still a Hilda as well, but you might not want to go for that because you don't know if it's even gonna be an assassin jungler. So this might just be a backshore roam, and then the Esmeralda in the EXP lane. But the Fanny. Oh.
Okay, so
Not bad.
I remember the Fanny CC which happened in day number 1 and like
Yep, that Fanny folded.
that Fanny folded and got Yo-Yo blitzed down. So there's the answer. The Hayabusa was open. That'll go in the hands of MP. So now we got the picture painted, and yeah, the box. I don't know if this was like just a last minute kind of idea.
Yeah,
you know?
that plot twist kind of ended in a wet fart. Like we could have sworn there was gonna be this this 5-head flex, but apparently it was really as is.
yeah.
We should have took it at face value. I don't know how to feel about this Fanny though. I like the genius play of forcing Twisted Minds into drafting a certain way, so that there's very little hard catch for the Fanny. So maybe James Banks has a good game.
Yeah, and compared to yesterday, James Banks might be a lot more excited to play an assassin because he was only ever able to play the Lancelot yesterday. It was a surprise to us to see him prioritize the likes of the Akai and the Uranus in the jungle.
He won with an Akai though.
But he won with it. But still, I feel like this is what everyone's expecting to see if we're talking about James Banks.
Well, you guys can let us know what you think in the comment section and in the chat. Is it going to be Apbr or will it be Twisted Minds with the twisted draft that came through? Let us know. It's game of 1 in this best of 3 in the first match of day number 3 here to round out week 1. We take a look at these early rotations and how this is going to go. You got to, every single time we see the Fanny, man, you know, you got to protect. You got to keep those buffs available throughout the entirety of the game, and even one slip up or one buff that goes out of the hands of the Fanny sometimes has a major effect across the game as a whole. Emblems, are they anything sticking out here, Brigitte?
I think it's Aqua not going for
the demon.
Yeah.
The season hunter.
The season hunter. Yeah, never mind. I mean the
great movie.
The great movie. But that's interesting because I feel like that's what you would really want to. Or maybe they just know that there won't be any heroes from Twisted Minds who could potentially invade James Banks anyway. Like the Kagura and the Gatot might be a little more careful, but speaking of, Apbr definitely seem to be switching it up. They're the ones trying to go for the more aggressive start compared to Twisted Minds.
Look at this Lord JM, 2 heroes deep against Lansu and Kaloy. Sean can't do much. Throws out an arrow alongside the rollout by Xnova. Quick pause here to let us gather our thoughts about this minute-and-a-half game so far.
Okay, so while they go ahead and get things situated here, this is one of the things, you know, Fanny, I feel like we've seen her how many times now this weekend? I know it's been a few. And I just feel like this is one of those tests where it's like, okay, can we actually make this Fanny work for Apbr? I know James Banks likes to play the Assassins, and it does relatively well on them. But they actually, what I do like is their draft has kind of these phases where, like, throughout the game, let's say it gets to a later portion of the game, you're still covered with a Mozkov. The Fanny can put side lane pressure as well. You can work in the fact that you also have a Baksha that's a pretty good front line. And you just need to be able to peel in a sense if you have to.
Yeah.
Now you have two heroes that generally have a lot of mobility against this lineup of Twisted Minds where it's like, okay, the Hayabusa is going to be putting pressure early on,
Yep.
but Kagura I feel like is still a question mark for me too. Like sometimes you're thinking she's going to have a ton of bursts and then sometimes it just doesn't happen. And so I think they need to make that work with the Kagura plus that Harith in a lot of the team fights that'll break out later on.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna highlight the mobility you mentioned about Apbr and their lineup because like, given that they have this kind of composition, they have the Fanny, they have the Baksha, and they have the Moskov to manage the sides for themselves whenever they're not entirely focusing on heading into the team fights just yet, at least they can ensure that they could get in position first because based on Twisted Minds, based on the Twisted Mindset, the way that they're able to always just play aggressively and the way that they did yesterday was when they were able to establish the control in the mid and when they're able to rotate to their positions first. But if Apbr is going to capitalize on the mobility that their lineup has, then that might be one of the ways they're planning to respond to this gameplay that Twisted Minds introduced to us yesterday.
I think a part of this always too is like the other thing up in the air is the Selena's, you know, like
Yeah.
Selena has worked at certain moments and then other moments it's like, all right, you're playing around the arrow. And I know she doesn't have that great of a win rate right now,
Yeah.
but it's like she still provides vision. Arrows, we've seen it happen where it's like it can change the course of a game like we saw last night. Uh-oh.
Here we go, 3v2, down bottom. Shadow Kill already used up. Aqua flickering out, using that damage reduction underneath this XP lane tier 1. Sean holding this long brush. X-Nova rolling around. Turtle's already spawned.
Yeah, he's level 4 already.
Oh my god! Sean finds Aqua! In comes James Banks and Lord JM. Sean with the flicker. Able to go ahead and get some shields. They're revitalized by Kaloy. Helps him out. SOD. Not gonna take it. X-Nova gets a yo-yo blitz on him. Lord JM. Alright, say what you will about the mobility that Apbr has, but they also kind of find it hard to lock Twisted Minds down.
Yeah, and that was such a clutch passive. Yin Yang Gathering coming in from Sean, stunning James Pack so he wasn't able to proceed with the kill or the attempt to kill, aside from the fact that he had other teammates nearby.
Oh.
And they get the turtle for themselves as well. So Twisted Minds, even despite how fast Apbr were going in for the rotations, they were the ones who got the better trades.
Yeah, but again, consider at the end of it all, Twisted Minds drew first blood.
Yeah, they did. At this point, you're still in a pretty good position to just kind of duke it out before that next turtle, or even wait till the next turtle comes up. But surprisingly enough, they go back to just grabbing the buffs, rotate around from that. And if you look at this, some of the first items not locked in just yet, so building into that here.
Oh, Lord
Whoa.
JM with a falling star moon almost catches Sean and Kaloy. But that's very, very slippery Kagura you're trying to lock down. Again, the story of it is Twisted Minds don't have as much map rotational speed, but Apbr can lock them down either way.
Yeah, the cleanse or the ability to just use the Yurasho Umbrella Flea and get away, and considering Sean and the way he just positions himself on this Kagura, you just know that the level of mastery is there, up there when it comes to his usage of it. Oh, but they find him once again. Another way of just getting out of danger. So this is why Apbr can't.
Oh my lord, SOD coming in from the Silent Kid! Trying to take down Nosha, but he shall not fall! What do we say to the god of death? Not today!
Nausea, actually, I'm surprised he survived that and even stopped with that arrow being thrown out there, but, you know, good play. Good play up there to stay alive and not go down.
Yeah. He even got, or nearly got the kill on James Banks, and that would have been so big for Twisted Minds because we had 10 seconds just before the turtle, and this could pretty much ensure that they get to position themselves first. Oh, but those are a lot of resources already committed.
Yin Yang overthrown, thrown out. Turtle spawning here. I don't know if Sean's gonna have that resource up, but look at this 5-man presence from Twisted Minds. X-Nova, he knows what's up. James Banks diving in. Turtle still goes over to Twisted Minds. They jumped out of the Kaloy. That's a cutthroat. Going out, Nova. Pop in,
good arrow.
Revitalize. Down he goes. Lansu gets a double. MP the King falls too. 2 for 2. The current trade. In comes Shizo. SOD. Vengeance by Lansu. He doesn't fall, but off camera, down goes Nosha. Lord JM danced on him.
Wow, what a team fight already. I mean, look at the bodies here around the turtle, and an arrow comes in clutch, but still, you know, it turns out that objective goes to Twisted, but still Apbr holds on.
Yep. I know he mentioned that there aren't much options from Twisted Minds to hold down James Panks, but it's not just James Panks that you have to find a way to deal with. It's also Lord JM, who's now on a 201 KDA. No one can hold him in place, and if he just keeps doing what he does, the Kagura, the Harith, every single one will find it difficult to position themselves in the team fight.
Yeah, taking a look at the items here too. Okay, Inge turn going to be used, and that's the thing. Whoa, Lord JM. This is what a 2-0 Esmeralda does.
He stood his ground. He asserted dominance and pushed back 3 members of Twisted Minds single-handedly, and he's doing so still.
He's dancing in front of them.
He's busting the move.
Literally, that's what Esmeralda does. Just like that.
Oh! That goes down. We barely just caught it. James Panks gets him, and there's another push by Apbr.
They're so quick to convert the objectives, and now they're able to take down 2 Tier 1 turrets in the sides of Twisted Minds. This wasn't how Twisted Minds was able to go for the Twisted Mindset just yesterday. Through this Selena gathering the information, and through this Esmeralda for JM, who we barely get to see in the XP lane because he's always trying to disrupt members from Twisted Minds, they just make their presence felt all over the map.
And this whole time, She's just been able to just farm up on the Moskov. You know, he's got the 2 items, Corrosive Scythe and Golden Staff right now. He's holding a little bit of a lead over Nakshiesszzz, and that's fine. The 3rd turtle is up here. Twisted Minds could go 3 for 3 for this, but I think Apbr wants to contest it. They've got a little bit of a lead ahead of them. They're going to fight for this turtle.
Early puissance pop by Xnova, spacing out 3. 3 out of 3 turtles go over to Twisted Minds, but down goes James Banks. Heart fight in the pit. There's the Zaman Force. Nosha dashing on through, serving up a double for Sean. Panks and Nova out of the equation just as quickly, cutting that lead in half. Twisted Minds wins.
Yep. That was such great zoning from Lansu. He put and used the curtain call just on Shizu, tried to zone him away because in that moment, Shizu decided to join the fight and not go for the split pushes instead. So Twisted Minds and the other remaining members were able to work on whoever decided to throw themselves up front, and that allowed MP the King to gain easier access, to have an easier way to secure the objective for his team.
Yeah, that front line is really helping Twisted Minds here, but I think they'll just disengage. Oh. Arrow will land, but no follow through there. They're trying to get these turrets. I think that's the hardest part for Twisted Minds right now, is even though they're winning these team fights and fighting around these objectives, it's like, all right, how do we transition to, let's get some space to work with. Let's get some of these turrets down, and that's where the current struggle is right now for them, just because even if who are you going to put to push that lane in? You know, eventually it might even have to be MP the King to put some side lane pressure on, or if Nakshiesszzz does it himself as a Harith, you're kind of susceptible to getting caught out.
Macro superiority for Apbr. Even if Twisted Minds won that last engagement, Apbr are still in the lead. Twisted Minds have to very specifically choose who they send to fight and to take care of the map.
Yeah, I guess they're really banking on the idea that their team fighting is...
Whoa!
James Banks caught out in the middle of 5! Make that 4! But he still doesn't take down Nosha. Zaman Force dropped in here. The MDL gold laner takes out James, and now Lord JM very low. AOG, Twisted Minds, still picking a fight. Aqua goes down, 2 for 9 again. It's the same old story. Lanzu's not done. Wants to take down Nova, but does get the point. He stands.
Oh, look at MP.
MP in the back line. Shadow kill onto Nova. Down he goes. Twisted Minds win in fights. The Twisted Mindset gets him to this lead, 1,000 gold and counting.
I was supposed to say, they're probably just waiting for that perfect team fight. And right as we mentioned that, it broke out into another fight. Oh, wait.
More JM against 4. You can't win this.
There's no dance moves enough for that. Oh, tough loss there for Apbr. That whole exchange on the bottom side of the map, and now a Lord is up and for the taking for Twisted. Unless somehow, some way, Apbr pulls this off. They are going to get pressure now on that tier 2 in the bottom. There's the spear.
SOD coming in. MP the King secures it. The shadow kill onto Nova. Dropping the Zaman Force as well. Forces the puissance. He ain't going nowhere.
My goodness, Twisted Minds. They're just working together. They're not splitting themselves across the map. And so whenever, even if James Panks or Lord JM decides to go in now, especially with the amount of damage that you could already expect from the likes of Nausea, from the likes of Sean, it would not be an entirely easy task for them anymore. So things have changed after that team fight we saw happen down bottom. Now the lead is in their hands. Now they have the Lord. And they might have a lot more ways to answer back against Apbr. If it's all about the engages that Apbr were expecting through the backshot, they have to be a lot more calculated with that heading into the next few minutes of this game.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Just, you know, how good of a game this is for a Kagura finally for Sean. 4-0-3. He's quite a bit ahead against Aqua in terms of gold even. And the damage is working out pretty well. Now he gets a Divine Glaive, so he's already been doing really good burst-wise, but you put a Divine Glaive on top of that now, it's going to be very difficult for Apbr in some of these choke points especially. Nakshiesszzz also gets a Holy Crystal, so look at the pressure.
Lord's still alive. James Panks to take him down quickly. MP scores. And the push continues. Shizzo forced to defend. Twisted Minds forcing Apbr to respond.
Yeah, going in up against 5 members might not sound that great of an idea if you're Apbr now, because Twisted Minds are already 3K up ahead. And even though it was a very narrow spot that could have been great for a Fanny, Kaloy, still there's the threat of the taunt, and that is going to matter a lot in how Twisted Minds gets to burst down whoever decides to go in. Even Lord JM has to consider that right now, and Twisted Minds are just going to be very disciplined and focused on taking the objectives, but Apbr might want to fight.
Bottom lane penetrated. Xnova here. Once again, the only thing holding back Twisted Minds from Apbr getting run through. And that'll be his 5th death so far.
Kaloy's doing a great job too. And a lot of these fights that we're seeing break out, Kaloy is where he needs to be. Pops will revitalize if he has to, but his threat enough, even with the unbreakable threat, like that taunt, is something that keeps him second guessing.
Happy the King gets hit with a Spear of Misery, but it's not going to stop him. Shadow kill out, plus a quad shadow just to get away. SOD, no one home. Mid lane tier 3 falls as well. Now Lord JM holding his ground. Twisted Minds taking this slow. 6K ahead, but now in comes the Hive, pushing him out. Can they win this? Shizzo clearing the wave. Lord JM dancing around, pushing 3 back. Lancer with a vengeance. Salmon forced by Nausea. No one home. Lord JM puts up enough shield, but he's still gonna fall. MP gets another 6 kills for Michael Endino.
They wanted to fight.
Yeah.
They went for the chase, but Twisted Minds, they just decided to answer back right at that moment. And when it's Sean who gets to pay attention to you, when it's Nausea who has his Zaman Force intact, that's when you need to reconsider your choices.
Apbr's best choice right now is to divide and conquer. Don't take Twisted Minds head on. That's very rarely a good idea.
And this is the thing. This is what I was saying earlier with the Selena, man. Like, I know earlier in the game, early game, mid game, it was working pretty good. You still get the vision. Some of the arrows were there. But you see the distance between the Selena and then now the Kagura. You know, you're 3,000 gold behind just in the lane matchup alone. And the amount of burst damage value that comes from the Kagura from Sean in these fights are, you know, you can't really discredit it at all because it's such a big burst, and then you have a Divine Glaive now too on Nausea. Yeah. So the synergy between those two heroes have been working really well, and I think that's what we're going to see more of when the Kagura does pop up. It usually works synergistically with another hero that is going to capitalize on that, or vice versa. So now Lord is here. They got one base turret for Apbr. They're going to lose this one. We'll see if they don't lose the game if they stay in this.
James Panks cleared that bottom lane. In comes Kaloy. AOG. Puissance by Xnova. Trying his darkness, but he gets taken out. So does Shizzo. Down goes Kaloy. Trade out for 4 and 5. And there goes the base. Twisted Minds. First on the board.